The Lagos air thrummed with a relentless heat, the kind that stuck to your skin and made even breathing seem like work. Ayo, a wisp of a girl at 15, weaved through the bustling market, balancing a lopsided tray of vibrantly colored mangoes. Her worn dress, a faded yellow permanently stained from countless sales, barely reached her knees. Ripe mangoes, mama! Ayo called out, her voice bright, despite the weariness gnawing at her from the long day. Sweetness in all of Lagos! A woman with a stern face, eyeballing a particularly plump mango, scoffed. Careful there, girl. You will topple over like those mangoes. Ayo dodged her with a practiced smile. Don't worry, mama, she replied, her voice light. I've been doing this since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. A man with a mischievous grin pointed at a bruised mango. How much for this one, small madam? Ah, that one? Ayo tilted her head, considering. For you, papa, only 15 naira. You won't find a better deal in the whole market, I promise. The man chuckled, handing her the money. Alright, you win this round, but if it's not sweet, you'll be hearing from me. As dusk settled, casting long shadows across the crowded market, Ayo hurried back to her tiny tin roof shack. Her mother greeted with a weary smile. Ayo, you're late again, child. Mama said gently, her voice laced with concern. Did you sell everything? Ayo pulled out a crumpled wad of naira notes, a small sense of triumph warming her. Almost, Mama, she said, handing over the money. Just a few bruised ones left. Her father, a thin man with a persistent cough that racked his frail body, looked up from his makeshift bed. Did you manage to save some for school this month? He asked, his rasp voice weak. Ayo nodded, placing a reassuring hand on his arm. Enough for another week at least, Papa. Don't worry, I'll keep selling. Their family friend, Auntie Beatrice, owned a small tailoring shop in a quieter part of Lagos. Auntie Beatrice, a woman with a stern demeanor but a kind heart, had seen the spark in Ayo's eyes, a yearning for something beyond the stifling confines of the market. She offered Ayo a part-time job, a lifeline thrown in the churning sea of poverty. The next day after school, Ayo found herself standing nervously outside Auntie Beatrice's shop. Taking a deep breath, she pushed open the door, the sound of the tiny bell announcing her arrival. Auntie Beatrice looked up from her sewing machine, her gaze sharp. Ayo, finally! Come in, child. What took you so long? Sorry, Auntie, Ayo stammered. School ran late today. Auntie Beatrice softened slightly. Alright. Come, let me show you what to do first. These buttons need sewing on, nice and neat, just like this. Ayo watched intently as Auntie Beatrice demonstrated, her nimble fingers a blur of practiced ease. Can I try? She asked hesitantly. Auntie Beatrice chuckled. Of course, child, but remember, sewing is like life. It requires patience and a steady hand. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. In the mornings, Ayo attended school, her mind buzzing with the day's lessons. The afternoons were spent with Auntie Beatrice, needle in hand, painstakingly learning the art of tailoring. The evenings were a stolen hour, bathed in the dim glow of a single kerosene lamp, her nose buried deep in worn textbooks. The other girls in her class were a world apart. Their laughter echoed in crisp new uniforms, a stark contrast to Ayo's threadbare dress. Sometimes, during lunch break, a snide remark or a pitying glance would sting, but Ayo held her head high. One day, a group of girls gathered around Ayo, their voices laced with curiosity. So, Ayo, one of them drawled, where do you disappear to after school? Ayo hesitated, then simply said, I walk. Work? Another girl scoffed. Doing what? Selling more of those smelly mangoes? Ayo flushed. But before she could retort, a voice boomed from behind. Leave her alone, Aisha. It was Mr. Johnson, their stern but fair teacher. Everyone here deserves respect, no matter their circumstances. The girls scattered, their laughter replaced by a nervous hush. Mr. Johnson placed a hand on Ayo's shoulder, his expression kind. Don't let them get to you, Ayo. You're a brilliant student. Ayo mumbled a thanks, a flicker of gratitude warming her chest. Back in her seat, she was by a nervous hush. Mr. Johnson placed a hand on Ayo's shoulder, his expression kind. Don't let them get to you, Ayo. You're a brilliant student. Ayo mumbled a thanks, a flicker of gratitude warming her chest. Back in her seat, she opened her notebook, Mr. Johnson's words an echo in her mind. She may not have had the fancy clothes or the carefree laughter of her classmates, but she had something far more valuable: determination. Months blurred into a year. The relentless Lagos sun beat down, a constant reminder of the harsh reality of their lives. There were days when exhaustion threatened to engulf Ayo, days when the aroma of sizzling meat from a nearby food stall made her stomach growl with a primal hunger. But Ayo clung to the dream, a beacon guiding her through her darkness. One evening, as Ayo sat hunched over her textbooks, the flickering kerosene lamp casting long shadows on the walls of their tiny shack, her father spoke. Ayo, he said, his voice weak, maybe you should give up school. It's too much for you. You work so hard. But Ayo slammed her book shut, her eyes blazing. No, Papa, she exclaimed. I can't give up. School is my only chance for a better life, for a life where I don't have to sell mangoes or sew buttons all day. Tears welled up in her father's eyes. He reached out, his hand trembling, and placed it on hers. I know, child, he rasped. I just worry about you. You push yourself too hard. Ayo squeezed his hand. I won't let you down, Papa, I promise. The following day at school, a tense silence hung in the air. Exam papers were being distributed, their crispiness a stark contrast to Ayo's well-torn textbooks. As she received her paper, her heart hammered against her ribs. This was it, the culmination of months of relentless effort, countless sacrifices. For the next hour, the world around Ayo faded away. Numbers danced before her eyes, formulas swelled in her mind. She poured everything she had learned, every stolen moment spent studying, onto the paper. When the final bell rang, signaling the end of the exam, Ayo felt a wave of both relief and exhaustion wash over her. The waits for the results were agonizing. Days stretched into an eternity, each tick of the clock a hammer blow to Ayo's nerves. Finally, the day arrived. The results were pinned on the notice board, a sea of names blurring before her tear-filled eyes. Ayo scanned the list, her breath catching in her throat. There, nestled among other names, was hers. Not just a pass, but a string of excellent grades, a testament to her unwavering spirit. Tears streamed down her face, a mixture of relief and joy. She had done it. Against all odds, she had conquered the exams. With a triumphant cry, Ayo rushed out of the schoolyard. The Lagos sun no longer a symbol of hardship, but a beacon of hope. She raced home, the weightless paper clutched tightly in her hand, eager to share her victory with her family. Busting through the rickety door of her shack, Ayo found her parents huddled together, their faces etched with worry. Mama, Papa, she cried, her voice thick with emotion. Look, she thrust the paper at them, her hand trembling slightly. Mama's eyes widened as she scanned the results. A gasp escaped her lips, quickly followed by a shaky laugh that dissolved into tears. Excellent? But how? Papa, his cough, momentarily forgotten, reached out and took the paper, tracing the grades with a calloused finger. A smile, the first genuine one Ayo had seen in weeks, spread across his face. "Our Ayo," he rasped, his voice thick with pride. "You did it, child, you truly did it." Relief and joy washed over Ayo, warm and cleansing. She pulled her parents into a tight hug, the paper crinkling between them. In that embrace, the years of struggle, the late nights, the gnawing hunger all faded away. All that remained was the shared love and a future painted in brighter hues. "This means," Mama began, her voice catching, "you can continue your studies, right?" Ayo nodded fiercely. "Yes, Mama, I can go to secondary school. I won't have to work so much anymore." A bittersweet pang shot through her heart. Auntie Beatrice had been kind, offering her a job and a safe haven, but the dream of focusing solely on her education had always flickered in the back of her mind. "We'll manage," Papa said, his voice stronger now. "We'll find it." "This means," Mama began, her voice catching, "you can continue your studies, right?" Ayo nodded fiercely. "Yes, Mama, I can go to secondary school. I won't have to work so much anymore." A bittersweet pang shot through her heart. Auntie Beatrice had been kind, offering her a job and a safe haven, but the dream of focusing solely on her education had always flickered in the back of her mind. "We'll manage," Papa said, his voice stronger now. "We'll find a way." The following day, Ayo approached Auntie Beatrice with a mix of nervousness and excitement. The shop was quiet, the rhythmic whirring of the sewing machine a familiar lullaby. "Auntie Beatrice," Ayo began, her voice barely a whisper. Auntie Beatrice looked up, her gaze kind. "Yes, Ayo, what is it?" Ayo took a deep breath. "I got excellent grades in my exam," she blurted out, "and I can go to a secondary school now." A flicker of sadness crossed Auntie Beatrice's face, but it was quickly replaced by a proud smile. "That's wonderful news, Ayo. I always knew you were brilliant." But, but, Ayo echoed, her heart sinking. "But we'll miss you around here," Auntie Beatrice finished, her voice gentle. "You've become a valuable helper." Relief flooded Ayo. "I can still visit after school, Auntie, and maybe during the holidays I can help you with some tailoring work." Auntie Beatrice chuckled. All right. But your studies come first, young lady. Promise me that." Ayo nodded solemnly. "I promise, Auntie Beatrice. Thank you for everything." Leaving the shop, Ayo stepped back into the bustling Lagos streets. The air thrummed with its familiar energy, but now it felt different. It was a symphony of possibilities, a melody that resonated with the rhythm of her determined heart. Ayo, a girl with mango stains forever etched on her dress, was ready to write the next chapter of her story. The journey ahead would be long, but with her unwavering spirit and unwavering support from her family, Ayo knew she could achieve anything.